Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friar's Desk Live, where we talk about spiritual insights, inspirational stories, and innovative ideas. We honor women whose lives are devoted to the pursuit of justice, not only in courts and institutions, but in the everyday choices they make with integrity and conviction. In the words of Sandra Day O'Connor, the power I exert depends on the strength of my arguments, not on my gender. Joining us today are four remarkable women from the Graduate School of Law of the University of Santo Tomas. Yay! We have a Judge Ayn Marie Grace Barrit Carig, Attorney Christy Jane Balino, Prosecutor Irene Mendoza Ulep, and Attorney May Dan Halgalado. Good afternoon po sa inyo.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, siguro po we could start with Fiscal Ayen.
Hi, good afternoon po.
Okay. Can you tell us about your family background? Saan po kayo lumaki? Then how are you growing up? What are the things that you find inspirational for you to pursue law?
I am the first lawyer of the family po. I was born and raised in Lipa City, Batangas. And my parents are from Batangas din po also. And my mother is a government employee and a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, nakikita ko po yung hirap ng buhay hindi lang ng family ko, kundi ng mga kapitbahay ko po. Kasi yung lugar po namin is medyo malayo sa town. So kapag may mga legal problems po, wala po kaming natatanong dun sa barangay namin.
Mm-hmm.
So nung nagkameron po ako ng exposure dun sa barangay namin, bilang member ng Children's Choir and lector, nakita ko po yung calling ko para maging lawyer.
Yeah. So presently, what are you doing now, Fiscal?
Presently po, I am a public prosecutor at OCP Lipa City po.
How are you now busy with so many things?
Yes, Father, kahit po fiscal po ako, nagsaserve pa rin po ako sa parish namin kapag may oras bilang isang lector, Father. And then, I am also a member of the Legal Edge Bar Review Center, Father. And may units din po akong nagtuturo ko sa colleges sa Lipa City.
How's your day? In one day, how do you spend a day po?
Sa totoo lang po, if you're a prosecutor, kulang po talaga yung 24 hours. Pero kailangan po talagang stretch na from 8 to 5, nasa public service ka, and then after, maghahanap ka po ng oras para sa sarili and maghahanap ka rin po ng oras para po sa pamilya niyo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fiscal. How about you, Judge Jazz? What's your family background? Tell us your story of, when you were inspired to pursue law.
My father is an Ilocano and then my mom is a Caviteña. I grew up here in Metro Manila already, Muntinlupa City. I'm the eldest amongst the 5 siblings, but I'm the only girl father. To be honest, I didn't want to pursue law before. I only wanted to become a flight stewardess.
Wow.
Yan talaga ang aking dream before. But both my parents and my auntie, they were both CPA. So they were pushing me to also pursue accountancy, because they taught me that when you choose your career, there should be independence. So, but because they were pushing me to become an accountant, and I knew for a fact that I wasn't really good in math, so I decided I pursued law only because I saw that I could also be independent, and my inspiration then was Legally Blonde.
Wow.
Yun talaga. So I wanted to put up my own law firm, but I guess that the Lord has other plans for me. So I was called to public service, and I feel grateful for that opportunity.
And what are you doing now, Judge?
I just got recently appointed as a regional trial court judge in Valenzuela City, but I previously served as a metropolitan trial court judge in Quezon City.
How's a day like po as judge po ba? Mahirap po ba? Okay lang? How do you spend the day?
To be honest, it's really difficult to be a working mom. So I spend my day, I wake up early to attend to my kids and then go to work early also for my hearings. I believe that everything is going to go well, because if you love what you do, so I think you'll always have that kind of passion. So, and I always believe that the Lord gives time for everything. So, basically, well, right now, to be honest, I'm still adjusting with my new court station, but I know that the Lord will always help me and guide me, just like what He did to me when I was in the first level court.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Attorney May, how about you?
Yung sa akin, Father, nung maliit ako, dalawa lang yung pangarap ko sa buhay.
Okay.
Either maging artista
Wow.
o maging abogado. Kasi yung abogado, yung parang nakaganon ka tagapagtanggol. Na happy. Parang ganon. But eventually, yung family namin, lahat teachers. So, teacher din po ako. I'm a secondary educator po, physics. And then, nung na-meet ko po yung asawa ko, si Walter, siya ang may pangarap din mag-abogado. Nung bagong kasal kami, nag-enroll siya sa law school. Pero 2 weeks lang siya. Hindi niya na nakaya kasi bagong kasal naman kami. Alam, umuwi siya ng alas 9 ng gabi. So, eventually, hindi. And then, nung pregnant po ako sa second child namin, si Dominic, nag-enroll ako ng PhD. Nung nakapanganak ako, na-realize ko, nag-usap ko yung mag-asawa, sabi namin, ano kaya, pwede na ako mag-law, parang i-pursue ko na. Tapos yun na po, pinag-isipan namin, dito ba ako sa UST Manila? Kaya lang yung traffic. So sabi namin, may pumapasa naman sa UST Legazpi. So umuwi po kami doon sa Legazpi and then I took up law. And then yun na, naging lawyer po ako. And then pagkatapos ko po mag-lawyer, since I'm a teacher, tapos may master's, so na-offer po ako sa UST College of Law. So I helped the dean. Inayos namin yung programs sa school. And then after that, private practice po ako. Yung si Walter po decided to be a parang board member sa Camarines Norte. And eventually, nag-transfer kami doon. So, nag-work po ako naman sa provincial government.
Yeah. So what keeps you busy now po?
Ngayon po, muna po ako, healing mode, muna po, family time. Kasi nung namatay po yung husband ko and we're here na, so parang I'm taking life muna, a little muna ng para sa family. And then I'm planning to practice here po siguro sa Manila.
And you have a son here in the
I have a
UST
daughter po,
senior.
yung
A
aming
daughter.
panganay po is in senior high. Tapos yung pangalawa ko po, grade, ano ba yung anak ko? Grade 8 po. Joke lang po.
Oh, mahirap na rin kasing tama naman
Opo,
po,
so, yun.
All right. Attorney G.
Hello, Father. Hello, and also good afternoon to the amazing women with me, Father. So, good afternoon.
So po, what's your family background po? Where did you start or how did you start becoming a lawyer po?
Okay, so in terms of family background, I came from a small town in Mindanao. So, it's called Tacurang City. And I would say I grew up around maybe the religious kind of family because my dad was an ex-seminarian. And my high school was also Dominican, so I found myself back to a Dominican institution. It was an all-girls Catholic school as well. And then for college, I did my college here. And for my postgrad, of course, I did my LLM and then my doctorate here in the Graduate School of Law. So I found my way again back to the Dominican institution for my postgrad. So maybe how I found law, it's a natural progression for me since I took up political science. So medyo in terms of pathway, parang it's either you end up in foreign diplomacy or maybe you end up in law. But as a maybe light-hearted moment, when I was in my first year sa college, ang tanong, so what do you want to be after college? So jokingly, I said, lawyer or lawyer's wife. Here I am as a lawyer now. So it's kind of funny, but parang a testament na din na manifesting is real. Yes, Father.
How many are you in the family po?
I have a brother, 11-year gap, and then just like Prosec Ayen, I'm a first-generation lawyer from my family. So
Being the first pagiging lawyer, who inspired you or what inspired you to pursue law?
siguro earlier I would hear my parents say, father, that I had like a strong sense of justice kasi kahit bata pa, you would always like argue and then you would always feel like kunyari kahit joke lang parang kailangan talaga ipaglaban. So siguro it's a natural pathway na but growing up and while in law school, it's really the ability, I would say, to help even through your words. So siguro more of like an acquired taste maybe. I would say that the law, yung iba kasi they woke up like they wanted to become a lawyer and things like that. But fortunately, I was exposed to law in so many ways, like the college, like the people that I grew up with. But no one I think no one specifically except as an Ilongga, Miriam Defensor.
Yes. Why
So
not?
so she's always like somebody who would remind me of the law and quite close to heart because my family or my dad was an Ilonggo also.
All right, thank you. Judge, do you have someone do you have an advocacy in life or someone who influenced you to become a lawyer, or maybe you want to pursue law because of this person? May advocacy or someone who would influence you?
Okay, my biggest influence, I guess. I'm very fortunate. I have actually 4 mothers because my mom and then I have my 3 aunties. I think that it's my auntie Aida, no, but she's bedridden right now, who actually taught me the importance of education and independence. So she has always been an advocate of education because she's a perfect example of somebody who actually struggled and strived, and sacrificed herself to make sure that all the other siblings go to school. So she's my inspiration, and she has always taught me that the discipline and I guess service and honesty in work. So for me, apart from my mom, all my aunts, because they have different personalities, so they were the ones who actually contributed to who I am today, apart from, of course, the Tomasian education I also got. And also, I'm also a scholastic. And so when I was in high school, I also studied in all law school. And then I also have this yung Aura et Labora. So that's basically what molded and shaped me as a person right now.
All right. How about you, Fiscal? Do you have someone who would, an influential person in your life, or someone who would push you in the midst of the challenges around when you were pursuing law?
My late mother po talaga, father. Kasi growing up, like Doc G, she always tells my kapitbahay that sa sobrang daldal ng anak ko, hindi ako papayag na hindi siya magiging lawyer someday. So, na-brainwash niya na po ko growing up na magiging lawyer ako. And when I was in law school, kahit po mahirap yung subjects or minsan nagfe-fail tayo, lagi po siyang nandyan na, tandaan mo, hindi ka pwedeng umalis dyan sa kinauupuan mo hanggat hindi ka magsasign ng role of attorneys at saka mag-oath bilang lawyer. And then, she always say na, CPA din po kasi yung mommy ko. She always say na limited lang po yung service na maibibigay niya sa mga taga sa amin and kay God kung CPA lang siya. So siguro gagawin akong instrument ni God para hindi po limited yung public service na maibibigay namin sa tao.
All right. Attorney May, do you have someone?
Actually,
Of course,
yung,
apart from, of course, yung husband yun, pero...
siya talaga, Doc.
Okay.
Ay, father, sorry po, Doc na din. Kasi po talagang, pangarap niya din. So, talagang siya ang aking pinaka-inspirasyon. Pagka magsabing law school, pagka super supportive siya. Pagka may exam, yung mga bata, siya ang tutor. Tapos nung bar exam, pagkahatid niya sa akin, talaga nakarosaryo na siya sa simbahan hanggang matapos yung exam. Saka siya sa babalik. Kasi parang tag team kami. Doktor siya, tapos public servant, tapos gusto niya pag lawyer ako, pupunta kami. Tag team kaming dalawa. Gagamot siya, and then I would also
Ang ganda naman
do
ng tag team.
legal. Opo. Kaya sa kanya talaga to.
Doc G,
Yes, Father.
is pursuing law something that is difficult? Or sabi kasi nila, parang parehas lang siya ng pagiging doktor kasi how many years na nang igugugol mo, talagang you will burn the midnight oil, sabi nga nila. So, mahirap pang ang pag-pursue ng law.
Gusto mo ba, Father, ng showbiz? So, I think just like all challenges, mahirap talaga siya kasi it's a career and a life also. And as I would always tell my students, I'm also a teacher, by the way, Father, in law school and in the Graduate School of Law. The difference between other professions is that you get to represent someone else. And you hold, for a doctor, you hold someone's life in your hands.
Yeah.
For a lawyer, you hold someone's life, liberty, and property. So if you make a mistake, somebody might, lose life, liberty, or property essentially. So it is a challenging path papunta doon. And in my case, I was a working student when I was a law student. So twice the challenge. Sa umaga, nagtatrabaho, and then sa gabi, nag-aaral. So I would say that it was a difficult task, but a worthwhile one. And I think the women, the incredible women here would agree na kahit naman lawyer na, Father, mahirap pa rin eh. So the challenge never stops.
About you, Fiscal, kasi there are many challenges that you have faced, no, when you were studying, and even siguro ngayon, as mentioned by Doc, no, Doc G. Ano yung mga challenges naman that you are facing, no, in this when you are now working as Fiscal?
Sa world po namin kasi, or sa job namin as prosecutor, mas preferred po ng mga clients ang men prosecutor. Sadly, they are looking up to men prosecutor. So, minsan po, maririnig yun sa mga clients na, ay, babae pala yung fiscal namin dito sa branch na to, baka hindi masyadong malakas yung loob. So, pinatutunayan naman po namin, kahit mga women prosecutors kami, na kaya din po namin yung ginagawa ng mga men prosecutors. At bilang mga women prosecutors, mas keen po kami sa details, mas maingat po kami sa kaso, and mas malakas po kaming magdasal compared po dun sa mga men prosecutors.
Yeah, Judge, how about you? Challenges that you are, now that you are also a judge, no, presiding judge, what are the challenges that you have faced as a judge?
Okay. I've been a first level court judge for almost 7 years, and now I'm starting my journey as a regional trial court judge. The first struggle would be, actually it's very difficult to be a working mom. So you really have to balance. But I wouldn't say that I'd feel inferior, because as I was sharing a while ago, 58% of trial court judges are actually women. Yun nga lang, pero and we hope that we see that also in the Supreme Court. But I think that basically that's the problem that I've encountered in my journey. So far, managing my time as a wife, a mother, and also, of course, giving time to do actual public service. But because I love what I do, so every day there's still struggles. There are struggles, but I'm able to manage it. But right now, to be honest, because I'm starting a new court, so I'm faced also with a lot of challenges, but which I'm sure that hindi siya ganun magiging kadali, because dati kasi 6 months lang, Father, probationable pa lahat. So wala masyadong pressure. Ito kasi so reclusion perpetua, and I know I always pray na sana to the best of my ability I'll be able to render justice. Kasi ito, isipin mo, reclusion perpetua, hindi lang yung buhay ng akusado.
Yeah.
Diba, kundi yung mga pamilya nila or hindi lang buhay nung complainant. Kung magkamali ka naman, mag-acquit ka. Diba? Tapos yung mga pamilya nila. So, I'm always praying na sana I'd be able to adjust and also render. No, I always believe compassionate justice.
Yeah. Kasi po, marami po kasi nag-iisip ngayon, how do you make a judgment, no? Pag andyan na yung dalawa, how do you make a judgment out of the cases that they have brought to you, evidences, proofs, no? Sa mga witnesses. Ang hirap din na iniisip mo yung mga, of course, not only the cases, but the lives that you will be, that you will change, no? Them being prisoners or them being the, suspects or etc. Pero mas mahirap po yung the way you will be judging them based on the evidences, kasi it's not just the papers that you are holding that you will sense that you are going to judge them, but they are also persons, no? They are also human beings like you, kaya medyo siguro I can feel you. So Attorney May, kayo po, ano pong mga challenges that you are facing too?
Parang ang dami po.
Isa lang.
Dami mga faces kasi ako eh.
Apa.
Yung sa akin kasi yung sa practice, it's more on, ang pinaka top of the list ko dati is to continue being lawyer. Sabihin, nung time na pumasa po ako 2017, I became a lawyer noong 2018. Tapos after that, I met an accident. So parang, kaya dati hindi ako umawak ng criminal cases. Kasi parang kakapasa ko lang and then parang feeling mo naging criminal ka. So parang yung feeling ko na kaya ko pa ba to i-push yung pagiging lawyer. Tapos nung namatay yung husband ko, parang alam mo yung kaya ko pa ba ulit na mag-appear, to be professional to everybody, to do your work. Tapos iniisip mo yung, again, family. Alin ka ba doon? And then, yung nag-work ako naman sa government, and private lawyer is how you keep your integrity. Despite ang dami-daming offers ang daming mag-o-offer sa'yo na gumawa ng hindi tama, and how you keep your integrity.
That makes a Thomasian lawyer. Attorney G, paano po
Yes,
yung
Father.
siguro we move away from the challenges, but the accomplishments that you have achieved. Ano po yung mga accomplishments naman that you feel that you have achieved a milestone in your career as a lawyer?
Siguro compared sa mga stellar achievements ng mga kasama ko sa panel, in my law journey, siguro, Father, before talking about yung sa lawyer, one of the greatest achievements is passing the bar. Yes, kasi it was a difficult time, which I think really tested my faith. So when I was studying for the bar, my dad got sick. He passed away, by the way. So he didn't really see any of the law life that I did. So it was quite a challenging time. So when I passed the bar, despite that, so essentially I wasn't able to really review and do all the the usual things that would that a bar candidate would do. And then when I became a lawyer, maybe a milestone I would share is maybe there was one case in during the pandemic. So ang witness, tapos na, so okay na tayo. So during the pandemic, everything was online, and it was a difficult time even for the practitioners. So I had one case wherein there was no witness. It was a family case except the mother. And that mother, dahil nga online, I had to record the entire question and answer and then to form the testimony. And eventually, before I presented her, she died. So the record of my Zoom recording of that conversation was like the only parang memorabilia of the family of their mother. So when the case was done, parang it was a conversation wherein, you know what, if the case did not happen, we wouldn't have had, this kind of tangible na record, because it was quite a different time. And back then, diba, during the pandemic, I'm sure everyone could agree, if you were sick, parang walang funeral, walang mga ganon. So imagine having like even there were lighthearted moments dun sa parang video na yon. So the case was, it was a pleasant outcome, I would say. And then that memorabilia, parang, kung hindi ako naging lawyer, I wouldn't have been instrumental to that kind of, siguro, closure na rin at one point. So that's like one milestone for me to be able to do and like yung nasabi niyo po, Father, change a person's life in one point or another.
You are able to touch the lives of countless people no around, no, not just siguro it's not just talking to them through paper, but you are really touching their personal lives, no. Their relationship with each other, even their relationship with God, you can even touch because you ayun sa core ng kanilang being, no, that you are able to touch the very core of their lives.
Yes, Father.
Okay. How about you, Fiscal? Are there accomplishments that you have achieved or milestones?
Recently, Father, I had this conviction for a case. And then, sobrang sayo po nung puso ko kasi yung private complainant dun sa case ko, lahat nung pera ng pamilya niya, itinaya niya dito sa case. So, kailangang tumigil ng mga anak niya kasi yung pangpaaral nandito, dito sa kasong to. And then, pumupunta po siya sa office na nagko-commute lang siya, wala siyang pangkain. Then, lagi niya pong sinasabi na, Fiscal, may laban po ba tayo? Fiscal, kaya po ba natin to? Lagi ko pong sinasabi na, Sir, dito po tayo sa gilid. Magsabay po tayong magdasal. Gagawin ko po yung kaya ko. Si Lord na lang po yung bahala. And then, dumating po yung promulgation, which was yesterday. Kita ko po yung sa harap ng judge, umiiyak siya. And then, sinasabi niya na, Fiscal, wala po talagang imposible kay Lord. Sabi ko, Sir, binigyan po kayo ni Lord ng bagong pagkakataon and chapter dito sa buhay niyo. Lahat po nung maibabalik sa inyo, sana po, ialay niyo po kay Lord para po sa pagpapaaral ng mga anak niyo and para po mabago po yung buhay niyo. And that was a very life-changing po para sa akin bilang newly minted lang pong prosecutor.
Alam mo, nakakatuwa po na naririnig po natin that God is still there in the midst of all the cases and prosecution na pinag-uusapan po natin. Kasi whenever we hear of lawyers talking about their cases, I rarely have I heard of the Lord being spoken about, no? Kasi maybe because we are Tomasyan, we are Filipinos too, na andyan si Lord, may spirit, no? It's not just the flesh and body that we are talking about, no? Mga cases that is soulless, but you injecting something that is more spirit oriented, ano po. How about you, Judge? Are there accomplishments or milestones that you have accomplished?
Father, there are many, many accomplishments that I am grateful for. Parang sinabi ni Attorney Gino, passing the bar is really an accomplishment. When I passed the bar, I also already had 2 kids at that time. So I felt so blessed na at least isang take lang. Hirap mag-review eh.
Yeah.
Ang hirap mag-review. And then, after that, of course, being appointed in the judiciary is one of the many blessings. And also, siguro, one of the things that I am truly grateful for, no, and that I feel that I have accomplished, even though it wasn't really expected, when my court, ranked first in the amongst the NCR judges, for disposition of cases. So that came as a surprise. Truly, I forgot kanina yung struggle talagang. When I was appointed first level court in Quezon City, I had 1,300 caseload, apart from the raffle. So, but because God has blessed me also with people who are willing to serve, just like what I had in mind. So, as a team, we were able to lower down our docket talaga. And we were recognized, although it wasn't really expected. Talagang gusto lang namin, wag na kami masyado magtrabaho. Kasi ang dami po talaga. So, and then also, siguro, of course, most recent is my appointment. And, but more than that kasi, my son got sick last year. So, actually, hindi na rin, nung last year, I was, parang medyo nagulo yung buhay ko din. I even stopped graduate school, so I took a pause also. And it was a struggle kasi at that time, medyo na-shock ako dun sa, hindi naman siya ordinaryong sakit. So, so yun yung medyo, and then, I think by yung masasabi kong accomplishment is yung talagang nasabi ko na I'm all, I think that the Lord already opened my eyes and my heart because dun sa pinagdaanan namin is yung totoong meaning ng surrender. So yun talaga siguro yung greatest accomplishment ko. Apart from, ito, yung recent appointment, but the word surrender because I realized na meron talagang plan si Lord para sa ating lahat. So yun talaga para sa akin.
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised, no? Kasi pagka sinabi kasing judges or binati mga lawyers, everything is on the table, no? Parang you are making some cases, and you make judge, everything's laid on the books, no? Para babasahin mo na yung books. But now you are talking of God, no? Taking control. Kasi minsan kasi sinasabi natin, yung mga judges, yung mga lawyers, alam na nilang lahat, no? Na parang, that's why they are called judges, that they are lawyers, that they know everything about all the cases, no? They can make cases out of you. Naririnig lang ako na mga, di ba, sa mga series nga na ano ko, nagkakasuhan sila just because na-trip lang yon or meron lang sabing hindi maganda, no? They can make a case out of you. Pero what I'm hearing now is, a surrender to God, that God really has a control over ourselves. That's why our own judges, our own cases, no, are entirely dependent on God, no. Attorney May, how about you? May mga accomplishments din tayo.
Meron. Actually, ngayon binabalikan ko, yung parang meaningful sa akin na una, yung I was given the opportunity na mag-teach sa law school. Tapos kasi province kami, di ba, provincial na law school. So, yung pag pumapasa, tapos mataas yung passing rate, tapos may mga nasa top, tapos magme-message sila sa'yo, sobrang sarap ng pakiramdam. Kasi yung mga message, talagang they are very personal. And then, another, when I worked in the provincial government, alam mo you used your knowledge of the law to make things easy for them. Kasi ang tendency, they have policies, but the policies would make things difficult. Para siyang papahaba ng proseso. But then, pag nandun ka, then you have the opportunity to look at these policies. Para i-arrange mo siya, pwede mo namang i-tweak and then make life, easier for them. Tapos yung opportunity na dahil nasa probinsya ka, ang lapit mo sa mga taong nakangailangan and nakaka-appreciate ng totoo. Kasi hindi ka nila binabayaran. So, kasi private practice, tapos yung pag nandun ka, it's free service. Lalo totoo po yun yung mga nabibiktima ng kaso. Tapos di syempre yung mga tao, hindi naman nila alam, pag nakarinig ng kaso, yung parang mahihimatay na sila. At may kaso, but you make them understand, it's all right.
Yeah.
Kaya natin to. And yung isa pa, Father, yung nadja-jackpot ko yung mga kaso ng mga pamilya. Alam mo yung nag-aaway sa lupa, nag-aaway ng ganito. And then you have this opportunity na you make them realize na family.
Yeah.
No, hindi kailang kaso parate. Pwedeng pag-usapan and then ayos.
You make the understanding of the law mo simpler and understandable to the ordinary people, to the common people around, no? Lalo sa amin, hindi namin alam, tama kayo doon, no? Pag sinabing kinasuhan ka ng ganito, pupunta ka na sa korte, etc. It would ang bigat sa kalooban, ang bigat sa isipan, minsan mental health breakdown pa because of that cases, ano. Kaya parang ang hirap din na isipin na itong mga laws na ito, sa mga lawyers din na they have really a soul, no? At least for the Tomasha, I hope, no? Sa mga Tomasha lawyers na, especially for you, no? That you're giving a sense of hope to people, no? Not just making a case one or two to people, no? Siguro, as we move further, no? Ano po ba yun? If we are talking of accomplishments, were there moments of doubts? May mga doubts po ba tayo that really yung nagbigay sa atin ng challenge sa buhay natin na should I pursue really law? When you were studying, when you are making all of these cases, kahit sa profession natin, may mga moments of doubt pa rin ba tayo or laging may sense na certainty do sa mga sinasabi natin, sa ginagawa natin? Kasi what I have heard kasi, pag may mga gagaling na mga lawyers natin, parang lahat certain, no? Pero were there moments of doubt or maybe anxieties that you felt? Siguro start tayo kay Fiscal.
Sa akin po kasi, Father, I am a cancer survivor. So, being a cancer survivor, kailangan po hindi ako ma-stress sa trabaho. Pero, God has His own plan. Sa lahat po ng mga trabaho, dito niya pa po ko nilagay sa napaka-stressful. So, lagi ko pong sinasabi na kung nilagay mo ako dito, bibit-bitin mo ako dito sa journey na to. So kapag po may mga cases ako na kailangan kong magbigay ng oras or kaya may mga makukulit akong kliyente na kailangan kong tutukan, na alam ko pong mas-stress na ako, sinasabi ko po, Lord, gusto mo to. Gusto ko to. Binigay mo to sa akin. Samahan mo ko dito. And lo and behold, Father, okay naman pa po ako. Sana po, dire-diretso pa rin. Kasama po yung thesis ko sa graduate school na isa pa pong nakaka-stress na I'll get through it with His grace po.
Oo, tama po yun. It's the operable word is grace, no? That a mystery that we don't know of, but it will come at the moment that we felt that it is most needed. Yung grace of God, that when you are praying, no, inside your heart, grace will still come. In spite of our anxieties and doubts, grace will come. How about you, Doc?
Siguro apart from what I shared earlier, which was really a challenge, yung taking the bar and my dad getting sick, and I would always joke na, so he was sick, ang pinag-pray niya ay mag-oath. So medyo na-extend lang kasi pati role signing. So medyo after that, then yun hindi niya na witness. So maybe the self-doubt, just like all professions, I don't wanna single it out na law lang. Kasi it's really a challenge eh. Especially now that you have so many hats, like there's private practice, and then there's the alternative dispute resolution, and then teaching. So it would always go into, siguro, am I really deserving of, well, number one, the opportunities that are being given to me? But then again, just like what you said earlier, Father, it's really about grace. So maybe nilagay ka dyan because you really have a purpose also. Kaya parang, I think self-doubt, kasi we could never really be proud. Kasi we're not Him. So it's always going to be a challenge na kahit even if you're doing litigation, for example, for more than a decade, or maybe teaching for so long, there's always going to be a challenging thing, whether a client, whether a student, whether a case. So siguro what would carry you all throughout would be really faith. Kasi you were put there for a reason, and you don't just give up, you know, the grace that was shown to you. Yun
Yeah,
po.
being a lawyer is not just a career, but it's a profession. It's even a calling. It's a vocation that you feel that you are being called to. It's not just that you have mastered the law, or maybe you have passed the law, the bar exam, pero this is what God gave you, no? Kasi minsan inisip natin na parang tayong gumawa ng lahat ng ito, pero at the end of the day, it's God calling us to do this, not for ourselves, but for the people around us. No, despite of the doubts, anxieties, I think God has a hand on what we have accomplished so far. About you, Attorney May?
Yung sa akin, actually, dalawa yun, Father, yung tatlo pala. Yung isa, di ba, yung pagkatapos ko nga lang makapasa ng bar, then I was driving. Tapos sabi ko, thank you, Lord, for all the blessings na nare-receive ko. And then, boom, na-aksidente ako. And then, parang naisip mo, para sa akin ba to? Na bakit mo binibigay sa akin? And then, yung isa naman, yung nagkasakit yung husband ko. Parang after everything na we did, bakit ganun? Bakit parang kami? Bakit siya? Tapos parang sabi nung uncle niya, sabi kayo nang sabi, bakit siya? Sino pala? Ang kukunin ni Lord. Parang gano'n. And then, later on, alam mo yung bumabalik din yung gratitude na hindi kami yan. Kumbaga, it's time for Him talaga na go, and we just have to be grateful na nakasama namin siya. So parang kasi yung nag-stop talaga ako ulit. Parati kong in-stop yung law practice kasi inisip ko, bakit ba ganun na hindi ako nag-work for profit? And then yung latest is yung pumasok at sa provincial government. Yung feeling mo, kasi okay ka sa litigation eh. Diba? You know what to do. Pagpasok mo ng gobyerno, parang ibang mundo siya. Yung inaral mo, iba-iba. Kailangan alam mo yung sa civil service, alam mo yung sa DILG, alam mo yung, ang daming kailangang aralin. And the people there, since you are a lawyer, they are expecting that you know everything. As in, ipapatong sa lahat and you have to find out kung paano siya lahat. But again, nakakaya. So, through grace, talaga, grace and faith, eventually bumabalik din yung gratitude. Pagkatapos ng lahat na minsan parang iniisip mo, bakit ba? And then, people will come and make you realize na, ano talaga? Ganon.
Sometimes we ask God, why me? Why this experience? And the Lord will say, why not? No? Why not? Because it's the way we God communicates to us yung relationship natin sa Kanya, hindi naman yung parang servant to a master, but a friend, no? God will not give us something na difficult that we cannot handle, no? God will always give us this grace because or maybe the experience that we have that we are facing, because God knows that we can handle it, no? God knows that we can handle all of these doubts, moments of doubts and anxieties. No? Siguro we go to yung ano natin, how do you try to balance naman on your faith, on your career, and your family. Kasi minsan, ang hirap i-balance ng mga iyon. Kasi even our integrity as lawyers or our integrity as Catholics, as Tomasians, are minsan, they are being tested, no? Sabi niyo nga kanina. Pero how do you balance? How do you treat all of these things na nangyayari sa mundo, nangyayari sa society, nangyayari sa trabaho ninyo as a woman lawyer? Siguro start natin sa fiscal. Yeah.
Kasi pinalaki nga po ako ng mommy ko na talagang kita ko, example po siya ng integrity dahil nasa government service po siya. Lagi niya pong sinasabi sa akin na lahat ng ginagawa mo, nakatingin at nakatungo sa iyo ang Diyos. So, sa lahat po ng ginagawa ko, ang iniisip ko po, hindi po yung mga tao lang sa paligid ko yung nakatingin sa akin, kundi si Lord. So, kung yung ginagawa ko po is hindi po mapiplease yung gusto ni Lord, so hindi ko na lang po gagawin. And I am very blessed na may husband po ako na intact din po yung integrity. So, he is also a lawyer. Sinishare ko po sa kanya yung nangyayari sa akin in the courtroom, sa office, araw-araw. And then, ina-assess po namin pareho kung saan po ako nagkamali at ano po yung babaguhin ko para mas maganda pa po yung service na mabibigay ko sa trabaho.
Iba pa rin pag may kasama ka, no, na pinag-uusapan ninyo, kahit kami mga pare, no? When we are talking to people would not understand our language. But when we are talking amongst ourselves, we know our struggles, we know our challenges. Kasi pag sinabi mo to sa lay, sinabi mo yung challenge, dali lang naman ang problema. Pero you don't understand really what's going on. No? Siguro sa atin des, mga lawyers, you need someone, no, to talk to and to talk with kung ano yung nagiging problem natin, challenges. Ano. How about you, Doc?
So, Father, in terms of balancing,
Yeah.
ano ba yun? Hindi. So, in terms of balancing, maybe I would agree with Prosec na one is the support system. Kasi if you have a good support system who understands that there may be some time na hindi ka ganun kabait because you're doing a number of things, it's really important that you have that kind of, siguro kahit listening ear na lang. Kasi as you said, our language is quite different, the vernacular is quite different. Secondly, would be as a support system pa din. So, not just as a lawyer, but a lawyer who did postgraduate like here. It's good to have support system also in school. Kasi lawyer ka na, tapos nag-aaral ka, so the struggle is understood by, similarly situated individuals. And then, of course, I think at the end of the day, prayer. I mentioned earlier that yung holding a person's life, liberty, and property in your hands, you never know what's gonna happen. Pwedeng mapunta sa court ni judge, and then talagang ang kakampi mo lang si Lord na lang eh. Kasi you can practice all night and like lose sleep over a few weeks, but when it counts, hindi mo naman alam how it's gonna swing. So you balance out your life and faith with a good support system and prayer. And I'm just very grateful because my husband is also, devoutly religious. So there would always be times like we talked about it earlier na yung mga doubt. So if you're not really somebody who has strong religious fiber and moral fiber, madaling mag-quit eh.
Yeah.
So pag umiyak yung client mo, sabay na lang kayo, ganyan. But then again, since you have faith, you really know that this too shall pass, essentially. So, ganun, Father. Talagang prayer lang in the support system, which are also prayed for. So, I think maybe that's a challenge to lawyers, na parang part of your prayer is not just getting a pleasant outcome, but it's also having the support system to support your journey in law.
Yeah, pillar of strength, no? And not just our faith, but our relationship with each other, to most especially the ones closest to us, no? About you, Judge, kasi sabi nyo kanina, it's difficult to juggle between the family life, personal life, and being a lawyer yourself.
For me, Father, ako naman, well, while it is difficult, I acknowledge it's difficult, but talagang, kumbaga, if you want it, there has to be a way.
Yeah.
So, for me, yung cliche na, you can't give what you don't have. So, kumbaga, we have to really find
That's
time.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yes. So, you really have to find time, to also give time for yourself and then allot time for all the things that you have to do. So, while I am guilty, hindi ko na rin talaga, hindi na yung regular ko na, ako regular exercise, ganyan. Pero at least on weekends, so, sa akin yung finding time to take care of yourself, that's one of the balance that I do. Finding time to fix yourself. So, yung isa sa, the person that I look up to pag ganito, si Justice Amy Javier talaga.
Yeah.
When I was appointed, she told me na, you owe it to your staff and to to yourself. Dapat lagi kang maayos.
Yeah.
But essentially, kumbaga, you try to fix yourself, not actually for others, but for you. Because when you feel good, you are productive. So, balance, kumbaga, parang just like, nung naglo-law school kami, di ba? Study, pray. So, parang, ganun din. I try my best, to find time for myself, and then, of course, find time for my family, find time for my friends, and then, of course, yung Sunday Mass talaga namin, and then finding time. Like ako, I try to really, especially when my son got sick, I also had a time to question God. Bakit naman yung anak ko?
Yeah.
Ang bata pa, so gano'n. So, and I also got angry at him, truly. Pero wala rin ako ibang matakbuhan, siya pa rin. So, I tried to, at that time, lagi ako nag-online mass. So, up to now, ganun pa rin ang ginagawa ko. Pero syempre, minsan guilty ako, minsan nasiskip din ako. So, apart from our Sunday mass, kaming family, so yun, talagang ako din talaga, as in, wala talaga tayong ibang tatakbuhan. Kung gusto mo ng balance life, I think you always have to ask the Holy Spirit to be there for you so that you can actually live a life na the Lord gives time for everything. So, yan pa.
Kasi syempre yung relationship natin kay God, it's not just about giving God or the good things or the good memories or the good words to God. But if there are moments of doubt or even in angry moments, no, you talk to Him. Sabi nga, God is our Heavenly Father. You can talk to Him as a Father. Kahit may mga moments of doubts, you continue to trust Him. You continue to anchor your faith in Him. Di ba po? Attorney May.
Sa akin, Father, sa lahat ng pag may pinagdadaanan, 4 lang parati yung pinahahawakan mo, yung faith, gratitude, compassion, and integrity. Lalo, kumbaga pag may problema, parati mong mahahanap yung time to say thank you for that opportunity and faith. Sa hindi ko man maiintindihan ko ano nangyayari sa akin, you just have to believe na kaya. And kaya. And of course, yung compassion. Kasi feeling ko yung mga babae, we always have that. Mas lamang ata kami sa ganun. Yung may puso, parate, yung emotions. I think, kaya feeling ko, sorry naman, lawyers, yung mga women lawyers are parang mas, yun po.
Low with the heart, sabi nga nila. Siguro we go to our final part of our program. You can give your advice to the people, to our listeners, no? As you are pursuing your law career, what are the advice that you can give to our students, to those who want to pursue law, and those who want to view law in the view of a woman? Attorney, fiscal, yes.
Hindi naman po panawagan to, no, Father. To all women out there who want to pursue law, kaya nyo yan. Hindi naman ibibigay ni Lord or ipaplant ni Lord sa heart nyo yung idea na maging lawyer kung hindi nyo kaya. But remember that this journey is not a smooth one. Talagang mahihirapan kayo, hindi lang araw-araw, kadalasan oras-oras. At kukwestiyonin nyo din yung sarili nyo. Pero ang pinakamaganda doon sa journey na to, isasama nyo si God. And sabi nga kanina ni Attorney May, bukod sa lagi kayong nagdadasal at nagtitiwala sa Kanya, lagi kayong magpapasalamat. Hindi lang sa mga magagandang bagay na nangyayari sa inyo, kundi sa mga bagay na alam yung si Lord lang ang may alam. And then, sabi din namin ni Doc G, you find your support system. Hindi lang sa mga kasamahan niyo sa bahay or mga kaibigan niyo, pati sa mga ibang babae na pareho ng journey na ginagawa niyo.
Thank you, Pescal. Judge.
For me, for all the women who are aspiring, to be part of the law and the bench, I believe, it's a struggle for women, especially for working moms. But my advice is to, of course, to have a balanced life, and through prayers, everything is possible. So yun din naman ng I also agree, support system din talaga yan. Because I also have a very supportive family and friends also. And you have to really nurture the value of independence and discipline, hard work, and also, para sa akin, if you want to be in public service, just like Prosec and I, so I think it's really a calling, and it's not just lip service. Many are called, but few are chosen. So you have to really have that heart for public service. You have to have working hands and a working heart.
Thank you, Judge Shaz. How about you, Attorney Ming?
For me, yung pinaka-advice ko for all those who would like to pursue law, there's no timeline. If you want to pursue law, the best timeline is if you are ready. If you are ready, I entered law school, I was 32, kakapanganak ko pa lang ng October, I enrolled June. When you are ready, and if you think this is for you, because not everyone can be a lawyer, you need a strong heart. So dapat yun muna. Kasi pag sinimulan mo na, tapusin mo. And always be a lawyer with a heart.
All right. Doc G.
Oh, yes. So, Father, allow me to be a little bit nerdy for a moment. So, I just remembered, like, in my grade school, we were asked to memorize poems. Like, deliver. And I remember one from, I think, Edgar Quest. So, the title is Don't Quit. So, just for all the women and then the ladies there who intend to pursue law, or those who are in law right now, who are, a bit of in a limbo. So, the line there is, when funds are low, which is important, by the way. So when funds are low and debts are high, and you have to, and you want to smile but have to sigh. And when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. So if you really want to do law, then just don't quit. You may be a working student, you may be a full-time student, or you may be a working mom, just like our members of the couch here. But at the end of the day, you will never be given something that you were not prepared for. So, siguro, don't quit lang. It may be difficult in terms of grades, and when you become a lawyer, it may be difficult moving forward, but just don't quit. Kasi at the end of the day, you have God, and then there's also, apart from the support system, you have yourself. So, happy Women's Month, especially to all my students and to all the women here in the couch.
All right. In celebrating women at the heels of justice, we are reminded that justice is not an abstract ideal. It is lived, defended, and carried forward by real people, by women who stand firm in truth even when the cost is high. Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said, "Women belong in all places where decisions are being made." Today, we have witnessed exactly that. Women not only present in those spaces, but shaping them with wisdom and compassion. May their stories continue to inspire us, not only to admire, but to act. Not only to listen, but to participate in the work of justice in our own ways. Thank you, Attorney Ayen, Just Judge, Attorney May, Attorney G, for gracing our show and sharing your life and faith and your service to our country. And thank you everyone for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Laudare, benedicere, predicare. Let us all praise, bless, and preach the word of God. Have a good day everyone, and God bless us all. And this is Friar's Desk.